Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be having a little read through the Cult Creeds for the Kill Team Elites rules, and we're going to be making some little decisions as to how we possibly would use each of the Cult Creeds. Again, before we begin though, if you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and destroy the bell button so that you never miss an upload. So it says, Cult Creeds. The sub-factions for models with the Genestealer Cult's faction keyword are called cults. Their sub-faction abilities are called Cult Creeds. If your kill team is battle-forged and all models in your kill team are drawn from the same cult, models in a kill team gain the Cult Creed described below. And you can use that cult's tactics, e.g. if all models in your kill team are drawn from the cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, those models gain the Subterranean Ambushers Cult Creed, and you can use the Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor tactics. Cool, right. So, it then says Xenos Physiology. Genestealer, in bold, models cannot be drawn from a cult, however. Their presence in your kill team does not prevent you from using Cult Creed as long as the models in your kill team that can be drawn from the cult are already in the same cult. However, note that models with a Genestealer keyword can never themselves generate benefit, good gosh, from a Cult Creed. So basically telling us that if it has the Genestealer keyword, you cannot get the Cult Creed. However, it doesn't stop your other models doing it. As long as they're all from the same one, which is quite interesting. So, let's start with the Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, Subterranean Ambushers. The Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor hails from a mining dynasty. It specializes in launching surprise assaults from subterranean realms of the Imperium. It says, add 1 to cult ambush rolls made for models in your kill team. So that's really good, because normally it's on a 5 or a 6, isn't it, for, I believe, neophytes, possibly acolytes. So instead it's going to be adding 1. So you're going to be doing it on a 5, 4 or 6, so you're going to be 50% of the time. That's actually pretty good. It actually makes you more able to use your cult ambush rule, which is really good, my opinion. Yeah, I think I've said it all for that one. Obviously, we'll come back to it and think of ways that you can use your models to do that. But Twisted Helix, experimental subjects. The bio-alchemists of the Twisted Helix seek to perfect the hybridized creations by blending the strength of the Genestealer with human stock in inventive new ways. Add 1 to strength characteristic of models in your kill team. In addition, when a model in your kill team advances, add an additional 2 inches to the distance it can move. So that is, again, really good. So adding 1 to the strength means your basic plebs, your neophytes, are going to be hitting on 4, so you can run a neophyte swarm if you wish. I probably wouldn't, but you could, and add 1 to the strength. So again, if you get 3 or 4 neophytes, they're going to probably at least likely beat a spaceman in a fight, to be honest, which is what is really good. And the cheaper, which is good. Also, it says when your model in your kill team advances, add 2 inches to the distance it can move. So if you've got a move of 6, you roll a 6, you're going to be moving 14 inches, which is really good, to be honest. Because normally you can only move an additional 6, right? Yeah, that's right. But then you can add 2. So if you roll a 1, you're going to run 3 inches anyway. If you roll a 2, it's obviously 4. I mean, you guys can do maths, right? I don't need to do this all day. But you get the picture. Even if you get a really pants roll, you're going to get an average roll, which is awesome. So you're more likely to be punchy. It's a very, very silly way of saying it, but hey. Rusted Claw. Nomadic survivalists. The Rusted Claw believe they need only to endure to secure total victory. It's quite a... Let's say that again. Bit of a tongue twister. The Rusted Claw believe they need only to endure to secure total victory. The scruffy and weather-beaten appearance of these nihilists belies a hidden stamina. It says, when making saving throws for your army, your kill team, treat attacks with an armor penetration of -1 as having an armor penetration of 0. It's good. It's good. Both the others are better, in my opinion. But it depends who you're going up against. Obviously, list tailoring is a bit of a no-no, really. Especially if you're going up against a lot of different enemies. It's a bit shunned, but you could play it. You could play it. Yeah, because I think most intercessors are going to be -1 AP at least, so you're going to have your 5 up instead of a 6 up, basically, on your neophytes. So probably, I still think it's a bit meh. The Hive Cult, it says, one second, it says, disciplined militants. The Hive Cult recruits its converts from military organizations, good God, and criminal underworlds. It values firepower highly and knows how best to use it. So, when you take a nerve test for model in your kill team, roll a D3 instead of a D6. Where have we heard that one before? Valhalland. In addition, models in your kill team can shoot in a battle round in which they have retreated or fell back, but if they do so, a 6 is always required for a successful hit, irrespective of the firing model's ballistic skill or any modifiers specifically. It says any modifiers. So it's actually slightly better than the Valhallans, and you can mess with them, to be honest, which is good. I don't know why it says about firepower in the fluff. Anyway, key thing is, you could have a lot of little plebs running around a horde army, and you could basically have D3 instead of D6, which is really good. Obviously, keep you guys banded together, and they'll get a -1 or +1. I always forget how it works, but you get you get a buff for your leadership, so that's going to make them extra more survivable. The Bladed Cog. Cyborgized hybrids. Cyborgized hybrids. The wording on this book, right? I'm going to do a screenshot, and you're going to see it possibly in the screenshots down below, and you're going to see how hard it is to read, even with my impeccable reading skills. It says, often hailing from Forge Worlds, cultists of the Bladed Cog blend man, machine, and alien into disgusting hybrid anatomies that they see as perfect organisms. So these guys are your basic Skitarii wannabes within the Tyranids, effectively. It then says, models in your kill team have a 6+ invulnerable save. Models in your kill team that already have an invulnerable save instead improve their invulnerable save by 1 to a maximum of a 3+. In addition, models in your kill team do not suffer the penalty to their hit rolls for moving and shooting heavy weapons. So this is quite a bundle, to be honest, because if you think back to when I did the Orc video, which for me was about 10-20 minutes ago, for you it might have been a couple of days, who knows, they basically just got a 6+ invulnerable save. It didn't say add 1 if they've already got one, which was not that good. It was the death skulls, yes, and I was able to reroll 1 hit or 1 wound roll. But in this one, it says you do not suffer penalty to their hit rolls when moving and shooting heavy weapons. Actually, I think this is probably one of my favourite ones, because you can have 2 mining lasers run about, and you don't even have to have a heavy specialist. It effectively nerfs your heavy specialist. Well, it doesn't nerf it, it just makes it less needed, which is good, but you also get a 6+ invulnerable save, which is also good. I don't think there's anything bad about that at all. I don't know if it's the best one, but I'm leaning towards it myself. The Pauper Princes. The frothing fanatics of the Pauper Princes believe that martyrdom is the finest of acts. They fight with a religious frenzy with their fellows when their fellows are threatened. So the Pauper Princes are the ones from the Kill Team box set. The original one, they've got a little fluff booklet, which is actually a little cool thing, to be honest. It's only a couple of pages, it's got some pictures in it, some pretty pictures, but it's got a bit of a story behind it, so I do like it. I like the way they did it. Anyway, so it says, you can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase for attacks made by a model in your kill team if it charged, was charged, or made a piling move that granted by heroic intervention command tactic in that battle round. So if you charge, you get to reroll failed hits. So that's really sick if you think about it. I'm sorry about this when I said that in that way. If you're using acolytes with the drills, the saws, or the cutters or anything like that, it's going to make them way more insane, and that is possibly OP. Considering I might have to make another video on this, to be honest, but I did one not too long ago about the cutter, the saw, I can't remember, God, my memory is terrible. Basically saying that it is pretty OP to have the overpowered, to the uninitiated, to have the cutters, because you basically, if they've suffered any unsaved wounds on a 2-up, they'd suffer a mortal wound or something like that. God, my memory's terrible. Do apologise, guys. Maybe I should go back and have a look at it right now. What we'll do first is we will just clarify some of these things. Although what I'll do is I'll probably pick my favourite. The Pauper Princes, combat, definitely. If you're going in combat, you want to bring these guys. You want to bring the Pauper Princes. If you are running and gunning with heavy weapons, the Bladed Cog are the way to go. If you want to run a horde of infantry, possibly neophytes with the guns, then and keep on sticking about, the Hive Cult is the way to go. I think Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, add 1 to cult ambush rolls. That is really good. It means, let's say you bring 20 guys on average, instead of a 5 or a 6, it's going to be a 4. So you're going to have at least 10 guys doing the cult ambush, which is pretty darned awesome. Then it says, so it means you can run up a lot faster. Twisted Helix, again, combat is going to be good for the Twisted Helix. You're going to get in a lot faster and move a lot faster. And the Rusted Claw, it's possibly, for me, it's the pants one of the bunch, but it's alright. It's not, none of these are bad, I would argue. None of them are bad. The -1 to armor penetration is kind of like, it's useless if you're going against anything with no armor penetration, or anything that's over 1. It's good in that it's alright. It's passive. It's very passive. It's hard to build a tactic around it. But I'm still leaning towards, actually, it's a tied way between, for shooting, Bladed Cog and the Pauper Princes for combat, because I think that's really epic, to be honest. What I'll do is I'll see if I can zoom out in my own thingy. You guys can't see this. Come off one book and get off the adverts first thing, and then go to Kill Team, go to the core manual, and we're going to have a little look at the cutters and the saws. I need to scroll. Sorry about this. I could pause this. Do you know what? My brain is really stupid most of the time. I don't use my brain. Anyway. So it says, that's ranged weapons. We don't want that. Oh, heavy rock cutter. It says, roll a d6 each time a model suffers damage from this weapon. If you roll higher than the model's remaining wounds, it is instantly taken out of action. When attacking this model, you must subtract 1 to hit rolls. So you do 2 damage, which means you get 2 damage rolls, and if you roll higher than the model's remaining wounds, so if it's low models, if it's like a guardsman, and you roll anything other than a 1, they're dead, basically. That is the one that I was talking about. And if you can reroll failed hits, that is going to be overpowered, especially with the specialisms of the combat specialist or the zealot specialist with your acolyte hybrid fighters. They are going to be OP in this game from now on. I think I've already summed up everything, so if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe and comments down below of where you think I got things wrong, where you would do things differently. So thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you next time.